In the last session, we have seen how to create implementation project. Before creating implementation project, we enabled offerings and options. By selecting the same offerings and options, we created implementation project. During the implementation project creation, we can select offerings and options, or you can create empty implementation project. After creating implementation project, you can add the offerings and options. Already we discussed how to add specific offering or particular option, or within the option specific task list or individual tasks also we can include into implementation project, and how to assign the team members to various levels, how to update the status at offering level, option level, task list level, as well as task level. If you do the assignments and if you update the status against the project related these components, offerings, options, task list, task level, how you can see the progress of the project also we have seen in the last session. So any questions from anyone on the same, please? Okay. Not only this, whatever we completed so far from this last 4 sessions, we completed 4 sessions. So today it's going to be 5th session. From last 4 classes, any questions from anyone, please? No questions. Okay. Now we can start with the setups. We are ready with our implementation project. The implementation project purpose is to perform the setups. Now we can start with the setups. The very first point already we discussed, we have to create our own user, implementation user, by assigning the roles. After that, we have to enable the offerings and options. Then you can create implementation project. After creating implementation project, we have to perform the setups. Okay. So we are ready with implementation project. Now we'll see what setups we have to perform. Okay, user creation, project creation, enabling, offering, everything we completed. If you want to create the transaction in the system, you have to capture in every transaction the date information, the description, and the amount. These are the 3 components we have to capture in every transaction from the system side. So if you want to capture the date in the system, we have to create calendar. We have to create the calendar. A calendar we can call as accounting calendar. If you want to create accounting calendar in the system, what are the points we have to consider? We have to consider a country financial year. So you are going to do the implementation for one of the Indian client. What is a financial year in India? What is a financial year in India? April to March. Now we have to create our accounting calendar from April to March. That means in every country we have to create accounting calendar as per the country financial year. If you are going to do the implementation for US client, what is a financial year in India, US? Jan to December. You have to create your accounting calendar from Jan to December. And when you talk about accounting calendar, yes, one point is the country financial year. What is other points need to be considered? The period type. When you talk about period type, you can say day as a period type, week as a period type, month, quarter, half year, year, or semi-month. This is all you can call as period types. But by default, we create calendars with a monthly. Here the period type we use when you create accounting calendars is monthly. It's very typical, the period measurement in the accounting calendar. So we use monthly as a period type. So you are going to create accounting calendar for US. Okay, we follow the financial year, the range like Jan to December, and we will use period type as monthly. If you are going to create accounting calendar for US as a monthly period, we can have 12 periods, right? Monthly means in a year, 12 periods. But as for accounting calendar, you can have additional periods also. Okay, additional periods you can have within the accounting calendar. Those additional periods you can use for adjustment transaction purpose. Say end of the year you are going to close the books. There are certain transactions which you cannot confirm. Okay, how you have to take, there is no clarity. Those you can record as a adjustment entries. When you are closing the books in the end of the year, to record that adjustment entries along with these 12 periods, you can have additional periods. Say you can have one more period, total periods will become 13. 12 periods are actual months. The one additional period for adjustment transactions purpose. Okay, adjustment transactions purpose, you can use the additional period. So this point also we have to consider. Okay, additional periods we call as adjustment periods. You can have one or two or three. Ideally, when you create accounting calendar, we create at least one adjustment period at end of the year. So these are the points we have to consider when you create accounting calendar in the system. Just you have to provide certain inputs with what name you need accounting calendar and what is the period type you require and when your accounting calendar start date. Okay, when your accounting calendar start date, you have to provide and how many adjustment periods you require and what should be the period format. These all you can specify. Then system creates accounting calendar automatically. You don't need to create all the periods by giving the name as Jan 22. It starts with the 1st Jan 22 and it ends with 31st Jan 22. You no need to enter all these through manual process. In Fusion applications, accounting calendar, the task is automated. Just you have to provide certain inputs so that you can create accounting calendar. We'll go and see in the system how this accounting calendar can be created. After creating accounting calendar, if you have any questions, we'll discuss. Okay, these are the few points we have to understand related to accounting calendar. The first point is we have to consider we are creating accounting calendar for which country. As per the country, we have to follow the financial year. A country financial year, as per country financial year, you have to create accounting calendar and period type. And you create accounting calendar, we have to choose the period type. Ideally, that is monthly. And if it is monthly, 12 periods. And you can create additional periods also along with the 12 periods. The additional periods we call as adjustment periods. You can create 1, 2, 3, how many you require. The reality, we suggest always to clients to have one additional period. Sometimes they may say we don't need additional period. Still, we recommend. If they need in the future, they can use. Otherwise, if they have additional period, there is no issue at all. So these are the points we have to consider. Let's see how to create in the system. Okay, we'll see in the system how to create it. So go to our implementation project, setup and maintenance. Click on setup and maintenance task. Okay, click on task list or task panel you can call. Click on manage implementation projects. Click on overview. So the system will take us to our project, which project is assigned to current user. To ERPTREE user, this project we assigned in the last session. Now you can open this project. Click on this project name and we can create the calendar from this project. What we want to create? Accounting calendar. Accounting calendar. If you create accounting calendar with this, by considering all these points, when you create the transaction, you can capture the date in the system. And here you can search for, there is a field called as a task. Okay, there is a field called as task. You can search for the task. Say accounting calendar. You don't need to type the full task name. Just click on search. It is showing the task name as a manage accounting calendars. Okay, manage accounting calendars. The same task you can see by following two different paths. So manage accounting calendar task is available from financials as well as procurement. Okay, from these two offerings, this task is available. Now you can choose any one of them. Since we are going to work on the financials, you can choose task which is represented by financials path. Okay, financials and all. So actually, this is a path you have to follow. This is the actual path you have to follow to create the accounting calendar. Instead of following this path, we are directly searching and we are going to that task. Okay, directly we are going to this task. Here, if you want to come to this task, what is the path you have to follow? You can see here. Click on this show hierarchy. It will display. This is the actual path which you have to follow to reach this task. First, you have to go to financials, then you have to go to define common application configuration for financials. That you have to expand. Inside, you can find the task list called as define enterprise structure for financials. Inside of it, you can find define financial reporting structures. Within that, we have a subfolder called as define calendars. Under that, we have a manage accounting calendars task. Okay, we'll see the same. Okay, we'll see the same in the other tab. Okay, same instance I'm opening in the other under other tab. I'll go to our implementation project. We'll take the navigation and we'll see once. Go to our implementation project. Click on overview. Okay. See, what is the path we have to follow to reach this task? First, we have to expand financials. Okay, here expand financials. Fine. After expanding, you have to go to define common applications configuration for financials. Okay, define common applications configuration for financials. Expand it. Next. You have to go to define enterprise structures for financials. Okay. Define, this is a task list. Define enterprise structures for financials. Expand it. After that, you have to go to define financial reporting structures. Okay. Here is a task list. Define financial reporting structures. You have to expand it. Under that, you can find define calendars. Here is a define calendars. Expand it. Under define calendars, we have a task called as manage accounting calendars. You can see here, manage accounting calendars. Instead of following this kind of manual navigation, okay, simply you can search and you can perform the task. Okay, instead of following this navigation, simply you can search for the task. It will display the available task with the respective path, but we no need to worry about the path from where to where we have to go. Simply you can click on the task, what task you want to perform to create accounting calendar. The task name is manage accounting calendars. Please make a note of all these points. Okay, this will be useful for you while you do the practice. Okay, please make a note of each and every activity what we are doing in the system. So manage accounting calendars. To create accounting calendars, you can click on go to task icon. Click on go to task icon. Here you can create the accounting calendar. Here you can see many accounting calendars because this is a practice instance. You can see many accounting calendars. We can create our own accounting calendar here. Let's create accounting calendar here. To create accounting calendar, click on create icon. Click on create icon. Here you can give the name. The name field allows very limited characters. Okay, you cannot give very long name in the name field. So you have to give the name in short. Say ERPTREE ACC CAL. More than that, it is not allowed. If I'm typing anything, it is not accepting. That is a maximum, the size you can give for those text. I'm giving the name as ERPTREE ACC accounting calendar. If you want to write the description, you can write here. Say ERPTREE accounting calendar for USA. And when you create accounting calendar for USA, what is the financial year in USA? Jan to December. Okay, what is the start date in the financial year? Jan 1st. That you have to select here. Select Jan 1st, current year 2022, current financial year. Select Jan 1st. And what is the period frequency? Okay, so you are going to create accounting calendar. What is the period frequency? Monthly. Okay, there are other types also, weekly, quarterly, and all. Ideally, we create with monthly only. When you look at calendar, find periods as months. So that is the default period type. Ideally, we use period frequency is monthly. And system will create the periods like this. This is the format it will follow. Okay, so it will take period name from the periods. Okay, from months, it will take prefix. From January, it will take JN, first 3 letters. That is a prefix for that period and month. And from year, it will take suffix. Instead of taking 2022, it will take 22, which is suffix. How it will take based on the format. This is the default format which you can use. Any question?
It's for calendar chart of account, right? Calendar year for the US. January 2020.
Yes.
First period is for the US calendar year.
Here you selected start date as what? Jan 1st, 2022. So it is taking first period as a Jan.
It's calendar year, right?
Calendar year, correct.
Yeah, we have to give end date, right?
1 second on. System knows all those. We don't need to give.
Okay.
Yep. Fine. So this is a format. If this is a format, okay, this is how system will create the period name. If you want to change, you can change the format. Okay, you can change the format. Accordingly, it will display the name. Okay, this is standard format which we use for period also. Whatever system is taking, you can accept. And here, this is a month, this is a year. How this month and year need to be separated. Here we have a separator. Want to separate with a slash, or you don't want to separate, you want to combine. How you require, you can give. Ideally, you can separate with hyphen. And when system will create the periods like Jan 22, if you want to add any prefix to that period, you can add it. Ideally not required, they give an option. If I give X, it will take X Jan 22. Okay, so this is not required. And here you can specify how many adjustment periods you require. Adjustment frequency. Okay, there are many options. Okay, once at beginning of year, once at year end. Okay, twice at year end, different options we have. But ideally we use, okay, our quarterly. Means every 3 periods it will add 1 additional period. That means 4 adjustment periods it will add. Or else you can set other. Other means you can say how many adjustment periods you require. All this system will add in the end of the year. Okay, or else you can say none. Client says, I don't need any adjustment periods. The end of the year, in the December month itself, I will record the adjustment entries also. Yes, that is also okay. Okay, when they are closing the books, when they close the books in the December month, Jan to December is financial year. When they are closing their books, the adjustment entries also they want to record in the December month. Later, they will just reverse, they'll move to the next period. They'll follow like how they want to manage those. So if they want to record those adjustment entries in the same December period, that is also okay. If they want to maintain in the separate period, for that only we need adjustment period. So if they don't need, you can set none. But always you suggest, always you recommend to the client to have at least 1 adjustment period. Even if they need in the future, they can use it. So you can select once at year end. After 12 periods, it will create 1 more period, once, only 1 at year end. That means system will create total 13 periods. Okay, period frequency is monthly. Monthly means 12 periods plus. Here we are giving 1 adjustment period. The budgetary control only, that is related to budget concept. When we deal with the budget, we will discuss about it. So these are the inputs we have to provide here. If you click on next, system will create accounting calendar. Just click on next. Before proceeding, any questions here, please?
Sir, once this is done, we cannot edit this.
We'll see. You can edit certain things, certain information you cannot edit.
Okay.
Lakshman, this accounting calendar is for particular general ledger or for the remaining sub ledgers also?
All the
Like in
applications. In any application, if you want to create the transactions, we use this accounting calendar to capture the date.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Lakshman, I have a question here. So we are creating a country level calendar here. So is it applicable across for like AP, GL and all?
Yes,
Because I
for all
think
the applications.
GL have a different closing
No.
period monthly and AP has a different.
Yes, periods. The same periods we'll use in all the applications.
Yeah, to add on, in a process we do -1 or -2 as a closing. So we close AP a day before the GL. So how will that work here?
Possible. The same periods. See, in this calendar, you will use Jan for GL, Jan for payables, Jan for receivables. You will be able to close separately. Opening or closing the periods you can do separately. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. If you close the period in AP, okay, the period won't be closed in receivables and GL. Again, receivables period is different. You will use from same calendar, but it will maintain separately statuses.
Okay, so we have to use a different responsibility here for AR and GL while creating these calendars?
Here we don't call as responsibilities, we call as a roles.
Roles. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
we'll use different roles, correct. You will see that. Don't try to understand now. Now try to understand calendar creation. When we deal with the periods, think about it. I can answer. You can see the proof also.
Okay.
By standing here, if you are visualizing there, which is unknown for you, you cannot. Unknown for you means in the future, you don't know how it works.
Yeah, makes sense.
Let me ask you the question. Do you know in EBS?
No.
Okay, then you have to wait. We'll understand everything.
Sure. Okay.
Sir,
Please. Yeah, please.
what is mean by period frequency, sir?
Period frequency means period type.
Okay.
Okay. What
If
type?
I give quarterly
Weekly or
means
monthly?
it will give like 3 months like that.
Sorry?
If I select your quarterly means what will be happen?
It will create 4 periods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. We'll see that.
Sir,
Okay.
I have one question, sir.
Yeah.
So calendar creation is it separate for each responsibility? I mean, APR.
No. The calendar, what we are creating as accounting calendar, we will use in all the applications.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. We will understand. We will discuss all these points. Okay. Now the target is only creating accounting calendar. Yes, we should understand that point also. This calendar only we can use in all the applications.
Yeah, Lakshman, I have a question.
Please.
So here for adjusting period frequency, we have added one more at the year end.
Correct.
Mean to say total together it is a 13 months, right?
13 periods. Yes, correct. 13 months.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Now click on next. We will see how it will create. Still, if you have any questions, we'll discuss. Okay. Just click on next. Now, based on this inputs, it is creating accounting calendar. Created. Now see here, if you want to change the name, you can change. If you want to change the description, you can change. But you cannot change the start date. And you cannot change the period frequency. You cannot change the adjusting period frequency. You just notice here. So John. Okay. The financial year is 2022. Period number is 1, first period. It is falling under first quarter. And the period start date is Jan 1st, 22. Ends with that period ends with Jan 31st, 22. This is not adjusting period. This is actual period. That's how it created. Okay. The April is second quarter. Okay. August is third quarter. This is how everything, the period count, sequence number, as well as each period belongs to which quarter. Okay. Each 3 periods belongs to first 1 quarter. Now scroll little down, created 13th period. 12 periods as per our accounting calendar standard periods. 13th one is adjustment. Okay, it is giving the name as 13th December 22 because every period name should be unique. And period number is 13. reality, this period we don't find in the calendar, but our system point of view, we need one more for adjustment transaction purpose. So since it is creating after fourth quarter, it is taking into fourth quarter, and it is taking the date for this only one day, December 31st to December 31st. If you want to change, you can change it. Maybe 1 week time you want to take for it. Okay, 25th to 31st. Within this date range, you want to record the adjustment transactions in this adjustment period, and it is marked as adjusted. So this is our system created. Now you can click on save. Whatever the periods are generated, it will save. If you want to create the periods for next year, within the same accounting calendar, we have to create the periods for next year. We use only one accounting calendar. Okay, we don't create every year separate accounting calendars. If you are going to record the transactions in general ledger, accounts payable, receivables, take any application, the same accounting calendar we have to use all the time. We cannot change. Once you start using the accounting calendars in these applications, you cannot change the accounting calendar. You have to continue with the same. Only what we have to do is we have to add the future years. We entered into 2023. We have to add the 2023 periods. That's how we have to add. Once you save it, system is enabling add year. If you click on add year, the next year period system will add automatically. Let's click on add year. Click on add year. It will add the periods for next year. Click on save. You can see here added periods for 2023 also. So this is how you can create accounting calendar, and this is how you can manage the accounting calendar. Manage the accounting calendar is nothing but adding periods for future years whenever we require. This is what we have to understand about accounting calendar. Any questions here, please?
Yeah. Actually, whenever try to create the calendar for the just like a physical year and for the India, right? So it's April to March, right? So for example, today we have created the calendar.
One second. So US I created. Okay, US financial year start with which date? Jan 1st, right?
Yeah.
Creating accounting calendar for India. India accounting calendar start with which date?
April 2022.
April 1st, 2022.
Yeah.
Give the date here. It will create periods automatically. That's all. Starting date only you have to give.
But what we need to mention the year 2022, right?
Yes.
Period is
Give start date. That's all. Give start date. We will create. I'll show you that also. Yeah. I'll show you how to create for India also, so that you can understand.
No, but in the year column, the 2023, right? It should be.
I'll show you. You can understand.
Okay.
Yeah, Lakshman, in this case we cannot.
Here, please.
Yeah, in this case we cannot edit that accounting period date, right? But sometimes some companies changes the accounting period. In that case,
not possible. You have to contact Oracle if you are changing with some reason. Ideally, they don't change. Okay. So see, it is not your company calendar or something else. It's a country. Accounting calendar in the system. That's all. Okay. Still, some reason they want to change, as you mentioned. Okay.
Yeah.
They can contact Oracle. Oracle can help them if possible. That's all. Any other questions about this accounting calendar, please?
Hi, Lakshman.
Please.
The adjustment period. Can we change the adjustment period?
What do you mean by changing adjustment period?
I want to change the last December quarter. I have to put in September.
You cannot change that. Okay, you cannot change because you given once at year end. So the year end only it will create.
If I want to change the period,
you cannot change. Once once you're done with the accounting calendar, you cannot change anything. What it created as it is, you have to follow. Only the editable fields you can update.
First, we have to take this
Yes.
enhancements
Through the
from the
implementation,
client.
we have to make the decision.
From the client, we have to know on which
Correct.
date we have to pass the adjustment.
You are right. Yes. We have to talk to the client and we have to explain them what is the use of adjustment periods. Otherwise, they don't ask for any adjustment periods. We have to explain. So to perform the adjustment entries, better you can have a separate period. And we record the adjustment entries in the actual periods? Yes, possible. But to track them separately in the separate period, you may suggest. If they says no, we can't do anything. We have to create 12 periods only. So adjustment period frequency select as none. But in every implementation as a consultant, always we recommend to have at least one adjustment period at end of the year, that if they want to use, they can use, otherwise no issues. In future they need, they can use it.
If I want monthly adjustment entry,
just change the date range, that's all.
Okay. Just I want to change the adjustment. It's not a year.
I'm not about year. I'm talking about period only. I'm just taking the adjustment period date range as a December 1st to December 31st. That is a full month.
This is for 1 month. I want for every month.
Every month you take it. That is a nonsense generally in the business. Adjustments every month, entire year, no. End of the year, when you are closing, you'll do that. Yes, still possible. You can make it 1st Jan to 31st Jan. But we never do that. Ideally, like in the year ending, when you are closing the books in 1 or 2 days or 1 week, last week, we will do that adjustments.
Okay, thank you.
That is possible. That is possible, but ideally that doesn't work reality.
Sir, one doubt is there, like how do we take actual scenario with the client interaction? How do we take the input from the client? Do we have certain format of asking the details, or it's like because it might be some miscommunication can happen?
Are you talking about this format?
No. How to take the information from the client? Are we the consultant to follow some format?
One second. When you talk about calendar, just it's all about discussion with the client. First of all, we know what calendar we have to create for them, but they want to see the period name, how that format they can decide.
Okay.
That's all. Okay.
Okay.
Because this is not something related to business requirement, right? It is a very generic information, right? Country, 5 years, done. By default, period is monthly only frequency. Do they need adjustment periods? Yes. How many? 1. Yes, 1. Or else 2. How they want to see the period name? They want to see Jan-year, or else they want to see with a different format. Accordingly, you select format and create. That's all.
Okay. And this period frequency is basically deciding the end date?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so if I select quarterly,
will decide, one second, period frequency will decide number of periods. For each periods, automatically system will fetch the start date and end date. Period frequency will decide number of periods.
Okay.
That it can identify. Monthly means 12. What is the starting date? From starting date, okay, it will create 12 periods. Accordingly, it will end with the so-and-so with the 12th period. That's all.
Okay, and if we select quarterly, then we'll see only
4 quarters.
Okay.
Yes, it will create 4 quarters, and for each quarter, the date range will be Jan 1st to March 31st.
Okay.
That is a quarter date range. Yep. So that's all about accounting calendar. We'll see how to create accounting calendar for India. If you want to create accounting calendar for India, how to create? Let's see this. India.
Hello.
Let's see. One second. Let me complete. I'll take the questions. So you are going to create accounting calendar for India. So India finance year starts with April. Select April 1st. Okay. The period frequency is monthly. Okay. Here, the format you can select as fiscal year. Okay, here you can select fiscal year. Okay. Now click on next. So this year is going to end in the next year. So that is the reason it is taking the next year. Okay. Next year. This is the year. But reality, the year starts in the 2022 only. Up to December, you have to change the year name, the period name. See here, date range. April 1st, 22, 30th April 22. For this date range, what should be the period name? 22. Date range is May 1st to May 31st, 22. The period name should be 22. Up to December, you have to change. We are creating the counting calendar for India, which is starting in 1 year and ending in another year. So year is going to end in which year, that system will take as year. That is nothing but reporting year. All you have to change up to December. Yes. After December, Jan is next year, Jan is 23 only. 23 only. Again, here date range also is selecting 23 only. You see this. This is a small change you have to do. Then say save. That's all. This is how you can create accounting calendar. If year is starting in 1 year and ending in the another year, if the financial year is starting in 1 year and ending in another year, okay, for that you can create accounting calendar like this. Okay, period names you have to change. In case of calendar year, which starts in Jan and ends in the December, so its system will take. You no need to update. System can create. Any questions, please?
Yeah, yes, sir. So the period name is editable. So can we like April 22-23, like we can?
Yes, but when you are creating the transaction, are you going to create the transactions for April 22 and 23 or 22 only?
22 only.
That is the reason keep as 22 only.
Okay.
There is no additional benefit you get. Already system is addressing. These all need to be reported in the 23. This is going to be ending year, right? That is,
okay.
That is the reason here you don't need to give 2023, not required.
Okay, thanks.
Hi. Year is ending year, please.
Sorry?
Year is ending year 23.
No,
but it is financial year is 22.
No. See, if you take what is the current financial year we are in India?
22-23.
22-23. When we are going to report, when this year is going to financial year is going to end?
23.
Yeah, that is the year system will take as a 23.
This is the ending financial year.
Yes, reporting year we call that as reporting year. We will report all these financial year transactions in which year? 23 only. It ends in the 23. Okay, 23 March. Okay, the year will close. That is the reason. In case of the calendar is starting in 1 year and ending in another year, in which year it is ending, that year it will take.
Okay.
But anyway, we have periods for current year also, right? So no issues. Let system take 23 or 22, no problem. This is what we have to understand. So that's all about accounting calendar. Okay.
Sir, in that situation, all our reports will also reflect 23 only directly, right?
No, the periods, this is how you have to select the periods only. The periods, if you create transaction April 22, the transaction will belong to April 22 period only. Okay, just this is in the system point of view for information only.
Okay.
The reports you have to select. If you select April 22 to March 23, the for entire year related reports you will be able to generate. You have to select the period range as a April 22 to March 3, so that entire year related reports you can create. Based on this column called as year, you are not going to do anything. So just for information.
Okay.
And it will help us to create the year ranges like this. I mean, period ranges. But from Jan, it is creating date range like this, right? And here also it is creating date range for current year related date range.
Yes, okay.
For that purpose, this year, okay, the reporting year will be useful. And anyway, periods up to December, we have to change the period names from 23 to 22.
Okay, sir.
Just say save and close. Okay. So that's all about accounting calendar. Okay. If you want to capture the dates in the system, we have to create accounting calendar. Within the periods, we can have a dates. When you create the transaction will belong to specific date. The date by default is belongs to specific period. The period wise or date wise, year wise, you will be able to generate the reports by using the same accounting calendar. Now let's talk about amount. You are creating one transaction. That may be purchasing transaction or sales transaction, any transaction. You are creating one transaction and you are entering the amounts. Say, for example, you enter 10,000. What is this 10,000? Okay. What is this 10,000? 10,000 is in which currency? That we have to address. The 10,000 is dollars, USD. That means whatever the amount you enter in every transaction, that amount you have to address with the currency. Okay, you have to specify the amounts with the currency. So when you talk about currencies, so you have a different currencies. Okay, say for example, INR, USD, say AED, GBP, SGD, Singapore dollar. They are different currency. These all are currency related measurements. Say for example, your client is doing the business in US. Okay, your client is doing the business in US. What is the local currency in USA? USD. The country local currency we call as functional currency. Remember this term. Functional currency. Client is doing the business in US. USD is the local currency. So USD currency we call as functional currency. Your client is doing the business in India. India local currency is INR. Now INR we call as a functional currency. In which country client is doing the business, the country local currency we call as functional currency. Say client is doing the business only in US. When client is doing the business in only US, for US, USD is a functional currency. For US, other country currencies, all we call as foreign currencies. Client is doing business in India and US. In India, INR is a functional for them. In USA, USD is the functional for them. They are doing business only in USA. So USD is the functional and India INR currency they call as foreign currency. The country local currency, wherever we are doing the business, that is a functional currency. Other than local currency, all other country currencies we call as foreign currencies. If client is doing the business in India, INR we call as functional. For India, USD currency is the foreign. For US, INR is the foreign. Simple point is other country currencies we call as a foreign currencies. The country local currencies we call as a functional currencies. Okay, this is what we have to understand. And one more point here. Okay, so one more point. So I'm going to enter something here like 1,000, 5,000, 100. Now, what these numbers represents? Okay, what these figures represents? Until unless you go and write what is 1,000, what is 5,000, what is 100, you cannot say this is belongs to which currency or it is belongs to what else other than currency. If I say 10,000 is USD, yes, you can say these are the dollars. So 5,000 I can say INR. And 100 I can say marks. These all are measurements only. USD is dollars measurement. INR is rupees measurement. Okay. The other measurement is marks. The same way, other than currency, we have many other measurements. Okay, we have measurements like kilograms, meters, square feet, score. Okay, these all are measurements, but these all measurements are related to not money. So dollars, rupees are related to money related measurements. So these measurements, these we call as monetary measurements. Okay, currency related measurements we call as monetary measurements. Other than money, what are the measurements we have like marks, liters, kilograms, centimeters, okay, square feet, anything you can take. All those are measurements only, but non-monetary measurements. Those are measurements which are not related to money. If you are going to enter such kind of information in the system, okay, we call those all measurements as a statistical measurements. Okay, meters, okay, kilograms, centimeters, square feet, marks, score, etc., etc. These all are measurements. Those all are statistical measurements. Okay, statistical measurements. So these are all statistical measurement related information. If you are going to enter in the system, that also we call as a currency. Reality, statistical measurements are not related to currency. Those are not monetary measurements. Okay, money related measurements only, monetary measurements. These are non-monetary measurements, the measurements which are not related to money. But when we enter any data in the system related to this non-monetary measurements, those we call as stat currency. Okay, from the statistical, they are taking stat, first 4 letters prefix that we call as stat currency. So this is a point you have to understand. The currencies in the system are classified into 3 types. Functional currency, foreign currency, and stat currency. Currency types. Just remember this point. So currencies are 3 types: functional currency, foreign currency, stat currency. Functional currency means where we are operating the business. That country currency we call as functional currency. The country local currency we call as functional currency. All other currencies we call as foreign currencies, which is not currency that we are calling as a currency. That is nothing but stat currency. Those are not related to money measurements. Other than money, what are the statistical measurements we have? All those measurement related information in the system, we have to represent with the currency called as stat currency. Okay, reality, we don't record any business transaction with the stat currency. There are scenarios where we use this currency for some calculations purpose. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. All the currencies information Oracle is provided. You don't need to create any currencies. We have seen how to create the accounting calendar. So in which country you are doing the implementation, you are doing the business, how many adjustment periods you required, what format you required. By specifying all these, we have to create our accounting calendar. When we are working for a client, you never see any sample calendars in the instance. In the first instance, you don't find any accounting calendars, you have to create. When you talk about currency, you no need to create any currency. All currencies Oracle is providing. All currencies Oracle is providing. Which currencies you want to use, you have to enable those currencies. If you enable those currencies, you can use those currencies when you create the transactions. Okay. Since Oracle is providing all the currencies information we call as seeded data. Seeded data. Seeded data means along with the fresh instance, whatever the data we get, that we call as seeded data. Oracle is providing all the currencies. So since Oracle is providing all the currencies data we call as seeded data. Seeded data means which comes along with instance, which is a very fundamental data in every instance that we call as seeded data. This is what we have to understand about currency part. Any questions here, please?
Yeah, actually, if our company is established in the India and currency is the INR, right? So it's a foreign currency or functional currency?
You tell me, what did you understand? I explained. What do you think?
No, if my company is established in the India and I am using the INR currency. So, and our business in India, so it's a foreign currency or functional currency.
You tell me, you are doing business in India. Okay, local currency is INR. INR you call as what?
I think it's a local currency.
Yeah, local currency you call as what?
Functional.
Functional. The same point we discussed now. Yeah, the same point we are discussing. We discussed. Okay. So wherever you are doing the business in that country, whatever the local currency we have, that is the functional currency. Wherever you are not doing business in those countries, okay, what are the currencies we have? All currencies we call as foreign currencies. You are running the business in India. INR is the functional. All other country currencies are foreign. You are doing the business in India and US. For India, INR is the functional. For US, USD is the functional. For India, USD is the foreign. For US, INR is the foreign.
Okay, and what is the purpose of state currency and why use?
For some calculation purpose, we use it. When we use, we will understand. Okay, for now, take the point as some calculation purpose, not for real business transactions.
Okay, so in Fusion, all the currencies are already enabled. So we need to enable. Should we enable?
We will discuss that point. Okay.
One question.
One second. Okay, all these currencies Oracle is providing. What are the currencies you need? You have to enable. Just take that point. When you go to that currency page and all, I'll explain other points.
One doubt.
Yeah.
Like functional currency will be our accounting currency, right?
Yeah, local currency.
Local currency, and the system, once we set up the functional currency in that format, our accounting, all things or transactions will be recorded.
In functional currency only. All the transactions will record in the functional currency only. We set up which is our functional currency. Yes.
Yeah, so we do see sometimes foreign currency is also entered, and then we are going to set up here exchange rate thing as well.
Yes. So you are doing the business in India. You may have suppliers and customers in US. That means between USD and INR, you have to set the exchange rates.
Okay, so we'll do that here also.
Yeah, we'll do that. We have scenarios. When we test that concept, we will do that.
Yeah, one question. In fresh instance, all currency will be available, or we have to run any program?
All currencies.
CD data.
All currencies. You no need to do anything. By default,
CD data will be available at fresh instance.
Yes, exactly. As a seeded data, all the currencies are available. Okay. Any other questions?
Sir,
there is some background noise and voice. Others, please. Any questions from anyone, please? Okay, no questions. Now we'll go and see in the system. Okay. So where you can find all the currencies, how to enable the currency, and we'll discuss relevant points. Okay, when you create amount, the amount you have to address with the currency. The amount belongs to which currency, USD or INR or GBP. We have to specify the currency. For that, we have to enable required currencies. When you talk about type of currencies, 3 types: functional, foreign, and stat. We'll go and see that. See, your voice is low, noise is very high. Try to fix it so that we can discuss. Please. Now, we are in the project. Okay. Search for currencies task. Okay, search for currencies task, currencies. Search. Follow the same process. You don't need to follow the navigations and all. You don't need to follow the path. Click opening the folder, expanding subfolder, finally finding accounting, calendar, currency. No, not required. Okay. So in a search for currencies, you can find one task called as manage currencies. Okay. It is available from 3 different paths. Anyone you can choose. All will take us to same page. What is the task name? Manage currencies. So when you do the setups, 99% setups starts with the prefix called as manage only, 99%. 1% task starts with some other prefix. 99% setup starts with the prefix called as manage. Manage accounting calendars, manage currencies, manage so and so. Everything starts with the manage. Now click on manage currencies. Here click on go to task icon. This is the task name. Manage currencies. Click on go to task icon. And notice one point. Notice one point. See, Oracle is giving manage currencies task as optional. There is no star mark. If you go to accounting calendars, you go to accounting calendars, you choose from our finance and choose from other path also, no issues. Manage accounting calendars, you see star mark. That means it's a mandatory. You should create accounting calendar if you want to use the system. But if you search for manage currencies, manage currencies task is not mandatory. Why? Oracle is providing all the currencies. That is the reason. Okay, notice this point also. When you do the setups, which is mandatory, which is not mandatory, that also you can understand by seeing the star mark. Now this is optional. Reason Oracle is providing all the currencies. Now click on go to task icon. You can find any one of the currency, say USD. Okay, currency code, currency name. I'm searching with the currency code. Click on search. So people created, we should not create. Okay, people created these currencies. The fresh instance, you can find only one value. We no need to create the currencies. Okay. These are all somebody created. So somebody is teaching to this to create, they are creating. You no need to create any currency. All currencies would be available. Okay. So this is the currency Oracle is providing, USD. Currency code is USD. Currency name is US dollar. Description also US dollar. You can see currency is enabled. Okay, the start date and dates not required. Okay, Oracle never provides this. Somebody updated this. Okay. So if you give start date and date within the date range only, you can use the currency. You never come across with the scenarios like that. You don't set any start date and date. This is how Oracle provides this currency record. This is seeded currency. Okay, this is seeded currency. Now what Oracle is doing is, by default, all the currencies what Oracle is providing, they are providing by enabling only. If at all, what are the instance you are using in that instance, what are the currencies you are going to use, if those are not enabled, if not enabled, you enable it. By default, Oracle is providing all the currencies by enabling in the Fusion instance. Say Oracle is providing all the currencies by enabling. Okay, see here. Remove that search value, click on search. You can see all the currencies. You can notice all the currencies are enabled. When you do the implementation, say for example, your client is doing business in US and they have their suppliers and customers in other 5 countries. That means they need only 6 countries currencies. Their local currency and 5 foreign currencies. Other than the 6 currencies, other currencies are not required for that client. For one time, you disable all the currencies other than those 6 currencies. That's one-time activities. Okay, we have 200 plus currencies, except those 6 currencies what your client is going to use as a functional and foreign. Remaining all you can disable so that whenever you create the transactions, you don't see unnecessarily other country currencies information in the drop down or list. So that's what we have to do. Okay, Oracle is providing all the currencies by enabling only. Ideally, they have to provide without enabling. we can enable whatever we need, but they are providing everything by enabling. We have to disable what we don't need. Same way, you can find that currency called as INR search. Okay. So please don't create currencies. Not at all required. Okay. Generally 100%, all the currencies should be available. If at all some currency is not available, you can create it. You can click on create. Okay. XYZ is a currency name. XYZ. By default is enabling. You can expand it. You can set the currencies belongs to which country. Okay, if any symbol is available, you can set this. This is how you can create the currency. Okay, this is already somebody created. This is how you can create. But no need to create, just for your understanding I'm showing. Okay, don't create any currencies, not at all required.
Lakshman, we can add or delete currency at any time.
Okay, you should not do that. Okay, you should not do that. But system will allow you to do it.
Because sometimes the customer will add one more country like that. At the time we can add.
You can enable that currency. That's all. Why
that's all.
Or why to add?
Okay.
Yeah, you enable. All currencies are available. Which currencies they want to use? Make sure that those are enabled. If not enabled, enable. That we can.
Okay.
We should not delete the currencies. Please remember that point.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions here, please?
Sir, at this stage, we are not defining this is our functional currency and this is to be foreign.
No, based on the usage we call. There are separate setups. Through that setups, you can specify which is your functional currency or local currency. Here, so, you see is a foreign. No.
So we can select everything and we can proceed also. There will be no problem.
Sorry?
We can enable all the currencies and proceed also. That is fine. Because later on we are going
if you need all those currencies. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm suggesting is, by default, Oracle is providing all the currencies by enabling. What are the currencies you don't need for your company? Those disable it. Otherwise, when you create the transactions, you are dealing with a total 5 currencies. One is local and 4 are foreign. Total 5 currencies only you need. Then payables, you are going to create the invoice in the out of the one of the currency in 5. Okay, you are dealing with the 5 currencies. With one of the currency, you are going to create invoice. If you want to select that one of the currency out of 5, you have to go through all these 200 plus currencies. Do you think that is a good practice? No. Okay. So the unnecessarily, you instead of accessing all the currencies, disable what you are not going to use for your client. Please make a note of this point. So that's all about currencies. Any questions, please?
Sir, can we disable all the currency at once?
All the currencies?
Like we have 200 plus currencies, right? Can we disable all the currencies?
You cannot disable in one go. One by one you have to do it. There is no option to disable all, enable all. One by one you have to do. Okay. You have to do one by one. Yeah. Any other questions, please?
Sir, one small question for me.
Please.
Yeah. If client is doing like their business in US and India,
okay,
both currencies are become the functional currency for them?
No, both won't become. For India, INR will become functional. For US, USD will become functional. For India, USD is the foreign. For US, INR is the foreign.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Yeah.
Depends on where company is registered, I guess, right?
Sorry?
Where company is registered, I guess
Yes, exactly. Where they are doing the business with registration. That's okay. Yeah. That's all about currency part. Okay. So when you enter the amounts, we have to select that amount is belongs to which currency. Okay, when you record the transaction to capture the date, we need accounting calendar. Now, when you record the transaction, okay, on so and so date, we are recording the transaction, and with the so and so amount, the amount is belongs to so and so currency. Now, description we have to capture. In every transaction, we have to capture the description. Okay, so you are doing the business, you have 10 branches. So the transaction is belongs to which branch, and the transaction belongs to which department, exactly which activity you are doing. These details we have to capture so that the data you can use for reporting purpose. Tomorrow, if you want to generate the reports, okay, so what purchases we did in so-and-so branch, what sales we did from so-and-so branch, how much profit we made from so-and-so branch, this description information only required. Okay, so when you create the transaction, you have to capture detailed information as a part of description. Okay, we have to capture the description. I'll take simple example to understand about description here. So first we have to keep ready all your companies or branch related information. Say for example, you are doing 2 or 3 type of businesses. I'll take example here. So you are doing consulting business. I'll take ERPTREE consulting services. And you are doing financials, you are providing financial services. So ERPTREE financial services. And say BPO services. You are doing these 3 businesses. You have to create these 3 businesses in the system. The same way, when we are doing these 3 businesses, what are the different departments you have in your company? Those also you have to list out. So which departments? The finance department we have, HR department, sales department, marketing department, and R&D department, and so on. So you have many departments. The same way, as a part of business, we do many activities. For each activity, we have to create separate account. Say we pay salaries to the employees, or create salaries account. Okay, so we spend some expense, say admin expense. Okay, say travel expense. Okay, so we purchase the laptop, we purchase and furniture. Okay, and we get revenue. Say we sell laptops, for example, we'll get the revenue from laptop sales. Revenue, we get revenue when you sell. From furniture sales. Okay, we maintain the bank accounts, say HSBC cash account, and say City cash account. So many accounts, many accounts. If you look at companies, you will see the accounts in thousands and lakhs also. Okay, I'll take you through all those accounts. We'll see. Going forward, we'll see. For our discussion, all we don't require. Just I'm taking few accounts for our discussion purpose. So this is how many companies they have, how many departments they have, how many different transactions they are going to record. All you have to list out in the system. Okay, for these you can give the title. These all are what companies. You can give the title as a company. These all are departments. You can give the title as a department. These all are accounts. You can give title as account. So this is how you can give the titles for the data. Those are related to what. So that means here what we are doing, we are segregating, we are separating this data. This all belongs to same organization. Say ERPTREE group. For ERPTREE related data only, but we are segregating. This is a company's data, different businesses, what they are doing. And this is a completely department's data. This is the accounts data. That's how we are segregating. We are segmenting, we are separating. This complete data belongs to which organization? That you can give as a main title. Say ERPTREE as a corporation or ERPTREE group. Okay. So these all companies and departments accounts are belongs to ERPTREE corporation. Now this is how you have to maintain the data in the system. And you maintain the data in the system, when you create the transaction, easily you can select a company. Okay, the transaction you are recording on which date. With the help of accounting calendar, you can capture the date. And you can enter the amount and you can specify the currency. The amount is belongs to which currency. And the transaction belongs to which company. You have to select company, which department, exactly which activity you are doing. You can select if you maintain all these details in the system. If you want to maintain this data as it is in the system environment, we have to create something to support this data creation in the system environment. Okay, if you want to create like this, how it is, you see some hierarchy. Okay, here you see some hierarchy. So under ERPTREE corporation, we have this data as a segmentation. Under ERPTREE corporation, we have companies. Okay, and we have departments and we have accounts. Under the titles of company, you have company information. Under title called as department, you have departments. Under account title, you have accounts information. So this is some kind of hierarchy. Top level, we have ERPTREE corporation. Under that, you have company, department, and account. Under company, you have company's information. Under department, departments. Under accounts, accounts. This is spreadsheet. That is the reason I am able to draw like this. I am able to maintain the data like this in a very flexible manner. The same way to maintain this data in more flexible manner in the system also, you have some flex field. Your data, how you are maintaining with more flexibility, with a hierarchy. So in the system also, we have flex fields. By using the flex fields, you can maintain this data in the system. Which data is this? Company's department and account. Out of this company, department, account, the very important information is account. What you are doing, that is activity that you can represent in the system with account. That is the reason the flex field what Oracle is providing that we call as accounting flex field. Accounting flex field. This data is very important information in the organization. Which companies they have, which departments, which accounts, so that with this they can create the transaction description. So that means this information is very important. Important means key information. That is the reason that accounting flex field we call as accounting key flex field. Okay, so this is a very flexible manner we can maintain the data in our applications. For that we are using flex field. And what data we are going to maintain? Accounting data. When you say accounting, along with account, any other data also you can use. Primary data within this is account information. So accounting flex field. Again, this total data is very important data for company. It's a mandatory, compulsory data if they want to record the transaction. Without company, department, account, what they can record in every transaction? Nothing. So that is the reason this data is very much important. That is the reason we are calling as key. So to maintain this kind of information, the system environment, Oracle is providing one feature called as accounting key flex field. By using accounting key flex field, you can maintain this data in the system environment. Where we have that accounting key flex field? The accounting key flex field we have in the application called as General Ledger application. Oracle Fusion General Ledger, GL application. We discussed about different applications as a part of finance. One of the application is General Ledger. Within the General Ledger application, or called as GL, within the GL application, Oracle is providing one feature called as accounting key flex field. By using accounting key flex field, this is how you can maintain the data. If you want to maintain the data like this by using accounting key flex field, what we have to create within the accounting key flex field? To create this information within the accounting key flex field, you have to create chart of accounts. COA we call. By using the concept called as chart of accounts, this is how you can maintain the data in the system environment with the help of accounting key flex field. So when you are going to create this information in the system, the complete information we call as chart of accounts. But here, whatever you see the titles, company, department, account, with this, what we are doing, we are segregating the data. This is the companies, this is the department, this is the accounts. That's how we are segregating, we are separating. That is the reason when you create these titles, okay, when you create these titles within this chart of accounts, those we call as segments. Okay, this company, department, account, those we call as segments. Okay, those we call as a segments. And under that, whatever the data we have, see, this we are calling company. This is a company data. As per system, we are calling as a data, or you can call it the company values. System point of view, if you enter anything, that is a value, the system language. So here we are calling as company, these are companies. At system point of view, these companies we call as company values. You can call as company values. If you call segment this as a company, these are company values. If you call this as a department, department values, account, account values. If you call company as a segment, these we can call as segment values. These three are segments. These three we create as the three segments in the chart of accounts. This I call as company segment, department segment, account segment. By using company segment, you can maintain the company's data. With the help of department segment, you can maintain the department segment data. And with account segment, you can maintain the accounts data. Okay. So when you call this company as a company segment, these values we call as company segment values. This is the department segment. These all we call as department segment values. Account segment value. These all are values. Every values belongs to specific segment. That's how we call as segment values. So we have to create segment values for each segment. Okay, segment values. So this is spreadsheet. Okay, this is spreadsheet. Since this is spreadsheet, simply I can enter the data under segments. But in the system, as a part of chart of accounts, directly under segment, you cannot maintain these values. If you want to maintain all the company values, what you have to do is you have to create. Okay, I'll just move here. One second. If you want to create company related information, you have to create for company segment, you have to create company value set. So since this is Excel sheet, I can give the title as a company. Under that, I can list out the companies. But in the system, it doesn't work in that way. It doesn't support. For company segment, if you want to maintain the values, all the values you have to maintain with the help of company value set. You have to create the company value set. Within the company value set only, you can create all your companies. Now this company value set, you can assign to, the company value set, you can assign to company segment. The same way for a department segment, if you want to maintain all the department names, directly it is not possible. What you have to do is, you have to create department value set. You have to create department value set. First, you have to create the department value set. Within the department value set, you can maintain all the departments. Now assign department value set to department segment, so that department segment can have access to all the departments. So these departments will be under this department segment with the help of this value set. The same way, accounts also. Under account segment, you cannot maintain all the accounts. Okay, if you want to maintain all the accounts under account segment, you have to take the help from value set. Create account value set. In account value set, create all these accounts, then assign account value set to account segment That's how you can maintain segment values. Okay, these are segment values under each segment with the help of value set. So value sets works as a containers. With the help of value set, we can maintain those values, company values, department values, account values. We have to create and maintain with the value sets only. Within that value set, what are the values we have? Those are belongs to which segment. The value set we have to assign to the segment. That means segment values you cannot create directly in the chart of accounts. You have to create value sets. So within the chart of accounts, we create segments for each segment. Okay, for each segment, we create separate value sets. By using value sets, in each value set, you can maintain the respective data. Okay, this you can call as, here the title what we are giving, that you can call as chart of account structure also. Or chart of account structure name you can call. You can call with any name. Here we are giving ERPTREE Corporation. That when you create in the system, the name you can give as a chart of accounts or chart of account structure or chart of account structure name. You can call with any name or simply you can call as chart of account structure. You can call as chart of account structure name or chart of account structure or simply chart of accounts. Okay, you can call with any name. Within the chart of account structure, we have to create the segments like this to maintain the data. Directly under segments, you cannot maintain the data. To maintain the segment specific data, you have to create for each segment one value set. With the help of value sets, we have to create the segment values. Which segment is required for which value set is required for which segment? The value sets we have to assign to segments. So this is what we have to understand. We'll discuss other details related to this chart of accounts in tomorrow's session, and we'll see how to create the chart of accounts. I'm not going to take you through the 100% information of chart of accounts in today or tomorrow session. So try to understand how to create the chart of accounts. After few classes, I'll add few points which are related to real time. When we create chart of accounts in real time, what points we consider and what are the best practices we have to follow when we design the chart of accounts for any company, all we will discuss. For now, we are discussing about chart of accounts to understand what is the meaning of chart of accounts, how to create. Later, I will add all those points which we should understand. So this is all about a few points related to chart of accounts. If you maintain all this data with the help of chart of accounts, when you create the transaction, you can capture the description. Okay. This is incomplete. Still, we have to discuss few points. Okay, in the next session, we'll discuss all these points. By that time, please try to complete the practice from your end, creating user, creating project, setting the statuses, creating accounting calendar. Just go through the currency information. If you go through and if you are get ready, the chart of accounts related information like understanding and practicing things will become easy for you. So please practice. Okay, please practice. That is my request.
Hello, sir.
So based on only this information, don't go beyond this. We have to discuss many other points. Here, whatever we discuss based on this, any questions, please.
Hello, sir. I didn't receive the instance yet.
Okay, just send me test mail on this ID.
Sir, do we?
One second. Okay. Mail on this email ID. I'll just cross check with the team. I'll share the instance. Anything, okay? Anything is there like to communicate, you can send me mail on this. I'll cross check in our records and we'll provide the instance access or previous batch videos or what else required. I'll do that. Yeah, please.
In general, like in practical scenario, company do provide the structure like companies at values and all that, or is it a consultant role to
Everything
understand?
company will provide. Okay, all the accounts what they are using in business, all the departments what they are using, all the companies what we have here, we have to involve in the discussions that we'll understand. There is one concept called enterprise structure. In the enterprise structure related concept discussion, you will understand how many companies, how we'll decide. This all need to be finalized. The companies need to be finalized after discussing with the client. but for ultimately client only will provide the data. We involve in the discussions.
Okay.
Yeah. Accounts, no discussions. All the accounts client will provide. How client will provide also, I'll show you the sample data. How client provides departments, how client will provide the companies, all will see the sample data. Sample data is available to understand. Any questions, please?
So
One
the segments we
second.
have, right?
One
So we have
second.
only
1 second. We're done for today. We're done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back. We can discuss. Okay, no further discussions from my side. So we're done for today. So the next session would be, since today is Friday, the next session would be on Monday. Our classes are from Monday to Friday. The next session would be on Monday. Thank you all. See you on Monday. Any questions, please?
Yeah, Lakshman, I have a question. In calendar, as you said, for generally there are 12 months in any financial year, like for any country. But again, we have to add one more month, you said, for adjustments.
Correct.
But what type of adjustments we do in a 13th month? Generally, we can do in every month, or in a closing year.
No,
we
closing
do
books.
adjustments.
Year closing you are doing. In the entire year, certain things you have to finalize. How you have.
Yeah, after audit, maybe we do sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Many.
Yeah, let me tell you. Basically, I am into a core accounts. I don't know.
Yeah, year ending. Say for example, the year end you are closing the books. You just play.
And we have to do in a 13 month.
Yeah, in 13 month, or else you can do in the last month also. Okay, there is no rule.
Yeah, that's what generally we do in the 12 month
do
only.
in that
But
only.
this 13 month, I got confused.
Correct.
Yeah, please.
Last month only we do, but what
is
recommending is you have flexibility. You can have additional, all the adjustments you may track in the separate period for your convenience. If you track in the separate period, the advantage is simply you can reverse all those when you move to the next year.
Okay, again the same, continue to this point. Like if if I take the financial year as Jan to December, my 13 month it would go as December or January next year?
December only. December one date it will be.
Okay.
Because adjustment is real it should move to the next year, right?
Correct. 13 again it will go to correct.
Yeah, in the same year ending, we are creating an adjustment period to create the adjustment transaction. The adjustment period will be last period dates only it will take.
Okay. Then
December only, but it will take the December 13th period name.
Yeah, only some days we can take. December last 3 days.
By default, system takes only one date, 31st to 31st only for adjustment period.
Only one day. Oh, great, sir. Yeah, 13th period is last year end month, last day. For
Exactly.
any March, December, June, any depends on their entity. Okay.
Yes, sir. You can increase the days. By default, it will take one day only for adjustment period.
Okay.
You can increase within that date range. You can pass the adjustment entries.
So if you close general period, this will not close. You have to close 13-month period also to close adjustment.
You have to close everything. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
If you want to enter the transactions in any period, you have to open it. When you are moving to the next period, you have to. If you
every month. Generally, every month we do, no? Like in
every month
or yearly.
Every month.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So in currencies, local currency, foreign currency, you said. There again, stat currency, you said. Stat currency would be generally local currency only. You didn't write there, no? USD, INR.
First of all, that is not currency.
Okay.
Right. Stat is currency? No. Statistical information. That is not currency, but in the system, Oracle is displaying as a currency. That is the reason we are discussing as a stat. You cannot show.
Oh, currency type is stat, but that is not currency. Okay.
It's not currency. That is a type.
Correct. Oh, I thought like currency you said stat.
If you want to see, if you want to enter 100 kilograms, for that you have, this is stat currency. 100 kilograms belongs to which country? No country.
Functional. No country. Okay. No country. Okay.
It's not currency. It belongs to some country.
Yeah, it's weight. No,
weight. Statistical measurements. So we call it.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
So the stat currency, then when we want to enter something, like we are using.
No, 1 second. Don't think about stat currency now. Okay. When we deal with the stat currency, you can think about it, you can understand. I'll take you through scenario and all. Okay. We don't record any business transfers in the stat currency for some calculations. What calculations and all we'll see when we deal with that concept. Rest you can go ahead.
Yeah, so actually we are using in our business. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking. Like as of now, we have not touched this portion, right? Later on, it will come.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Cover this. There is one concept. When in that concept only we can use only one concept. Okay. Not to record day-to-day business transactions, we use stat currency. No, not for real transaction, for some kind of calculations purpose, some statistical calculations purpose, we use it. Where we use, I'll take you through examples and we'll do in the system. You can understand.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Lakshman, sometimes company present units, that is amount in thousands or millions or billions. We have to define that one.
Sorry?
Company presents amount is there, amount in thousands or amount in millions or amount in billions.
That you have to represent in the reports only. Okay, when
reports only.
That you cannot specify anywhere. Okay.
Okay.
That you can bring in the reports.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, does the accounting period will be for 12 months or like it can be more than 12 months?
See, reality 12 only. For adjustment purpose, you can have additional.
Okay.
12 only. If it is a monthly, 12 only. There is no chance. We know 12 periods only, right? In the year. Okay. If you want to have additional, you can have in the calendar. Those we call as adjustment periods. But those are not mandatory. Those are not mandatory, compulsory. But ideally, we suggest to have at least one. If they want, they can use. Otherwise, they can ignore. No issues. But always we recommend as a consultants to have at least one, so that if they want to track adjustment entries in the end of the year when they are closing the books, they can use it. If they don't use it, no issues. That will be lying as it is. In future, if they think like
is it not dependent like company to company?
One second. In future, if they think to use this additional period, they can use. Why we are adding one adjustment periods? In future, they want to increase the periods, they cannot do that. So now they said we don't need adjustment periods. After 5 years, they are thinking to have separate period for their convenience of maintaining adjustment period, adjustment transactions separate period, and reversing them or doing some activity on those in one go. In that scenarios, it is not possible. In the mid of the once they start using the system, you cannot add adjustment periods in the calendar. So that need to be decided when you create accounting calendar. That is the reason always we suggest clients to have one additional period, that is adjustment period. So this is what we have to understand. Yeah, please. Somebody is asking something.
Hi, sir. So actually, I don't have any accounting knowledge.
Same issue with you. Okay. Please make sure that you are okay with audio and all. Too much of background noise, low voice. Last time also same, later you fixed. Your voice was very clear. Again, same issue. Any other questions?
Now, okay.
Let's see.
Yeah. So generally, which transactions we consider adjustment periods?
Say for example, you purchase from supplier. You place a purchase order and inventory received. Okay, material. You not yet created invoice in the payables. Okay, not yet created invoice in the payables, but you are closing the books. You have to record your actual liability. To create invoice, it may take some time. Meantime, that you can record in the adjustment period as this is the liability we have to pay to supply temporarily, so that you will be able to understand end of the year how much liability you have. If you create invoice only, you will see your liability. Okay. You purchased and you received material, but you not yet created invoice by the time of closing the books in the end of the year. That you can record in the adjustment period. Clear? No voice.
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. That is an example you can take. Any other?
Sir, the segments we have, right? Company, department, and accounts. So
Yes.
does it specific three only we have, or like we
No.
it's dependent company to company?
No. So reality, we create 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll explain all those things. For our discussion purpose, I took 3. Okay. 3. Reality, minimum we need 2. Okay. Minimum in tomorrow's session, we will come across all these points. Okay. Minimum, how many, maximum, how many we create, reality, how many we create. All those points I'll explain in the tomorrow session. For today, you just take this information. Okay, depending on the company, how they want to prepare the reports, accordingly, you can have a segments. As per your reporting requirements, we create the segments in the chart of accounts. Those all points you will understand. Okay, tomorrow session we'll understand few points. In coming sessions, other points also we'll discuss very detailed level, how it works in the real time.
Sir, suppose company wants a period to be 18 months. Can we do that 18 months?
18 months, which periods?
Period like accounting period.
No. 18 months, which periods? How you call those 18 periods?
Like Jan to next June, like.
Jan to next June and all. No, just see. Jan to next.
Because as per accounting standard, like we can
if you are using, 1 second. If you are using monthly, 12 only you can have actual periods. Okay, 12 only you can have, or else you can do one thing. Okay, if you want to have 16, select monthly. Okay, select monthly and adjustment periods, select option as other. There you put 6. Okay, there you put 6. And when you put 6, it will create adjustment periods. For those, you can add the remaining 6 periods. But what system here it will do is, in the, I'll show you in the system. Go to accounting calendar. Ideally, we never create like this. Since you are asking, I'm just suggesting this is how you can do. Okay, anything you can take. Here, how many periods you need?
18 period.
18 periods, right? So here monthly means it will create 12 periods. Okay, you need 6 more. Select other. Give 6. Next. It created 18 periods, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Now change these names. Okay. From here, all it took December. This is
Jan 23.
Jan 23. And dates also you change. Clear?
Okay, got it.
Uncheck this adjustment. It's not adjusting, right? Real.
Yeah, now it's real.
This is how you can manage. But we don't create like that. We never. Okay. Any other questions, please? Okay. No questions?
Sir, like the period close and open. So is it consultant will do, or like can the client?
Why you are worrying about opening closing periods? We're not yet done. I'll explain.
Okay.
We'll discuss everything.
Okay,
Let's end it here only. Yeah. Otherwise, you can ask the question, I can answer. But certain things, if you see, you will realize. And if you are talking about future things, and that discussion will be in between you and me only. This is not at all useful for others, right?
Got it. Thank you.
That is the reason I'm requesting whatever we are doing, we will discuss about that very detailed level. When we are going to open and close the periods, you can ask any question. Let me answer. Since you are very, very much now itself. You asked 2-3 times already, right? See, opening and closing periods always done by consultants only. That is our responsibility as a part of support project. After implementation, client will start using the applications that we call as period closing activity. Okay, it's not like just opening and closing. We have to do many activities there. There will be many issues we come across. We have to fix. Ultimately, we have to close the current period. When you move to the next period, the current period you have to, the previous period. Say you are in the end of August 31st. You entered into September 1st. The August period you have to close. September period you have to open so that you can start entering the transactions in the September. That's how it works. But don't worry about all those now. When we do that activity, we'll discuss. It would be easy for you also.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Any other questions, please?
Hi, Lakshmanji.
Yeah, please.
Lakshmanji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, please.
Yes, Lakshmanji, I just entered into the meeting. Your team member has given me the link. I want to attend your course. I have some questions. So can you answer me now or after the meeting?
Yeah, after meeting, we can connect the call. You are in touch with whom from the team?
From Said.
Saida.
Yes, Saida, yes.
Okay. I'll ask the Saida to arrange the call so that we can connect and discuss.
He told I am trying to connect with you for last 1 week. He told me that connect in the morning with Mr. Lakshman as you are very busy.
I'm sorry. So you can expect the call in 5 minutes.
Okay, through team?
In 5 minutes, Saida will connect the call. Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Afroz, right? Your name?
Yes, Afroz. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I'll just talk to the team and I'll ask them to connect.
Okay, I will wait for your call.
Yeah, please.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions from anyone, please? No questions. So that's all for today. Thank you all. See you on Monday. Please try to complete the practice. That will help you a lot.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.